Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This is a short video which is a summary of chapter 7C of our course, and which is about UML diagram. We will discuss at first a class diagram, then sequence, and finally we will go to communication diagram. My name is Dr. Fazal Khan. I am coordinator for CPIT-250 System Analysis and Design course. So let's begin with the class diagram. Now, basically what we want to see in the class diagram at first is what are the basic elements of a class diagram. Then we will see how many types of relationships which are there between classes, how many different relationship we can have in a class diagram. In front of you, you see a class diagram. Okay, what we have, this is the structure of a class. We have three portions, as you see, one upper, middle, and lower. The upper portion is class name. The second portion is the attributes of the class. The last portion are the methods. You see minus with the attributes, it represents that they are private. You see plus with the method here, it may represent that they are public. Usually attributes are private in most of the systems, while methods are public. Now let's discuss what are the type of relationships that we can have. As I see, we can see here there are four different types of relationship. Inheritance is somewhere it's not given here, but it's a parent and child relationship. So if you have this one as a parent class, and you have two classes here, one, the other one here, this is how we and the methods or attributes can be inherited from the upper parent class. Then it is an inheritance relationship. Second type of relationship that we already have, like we have something in common with the databases, is association, which we have like one to many, or one to many, or many to many, or whatever. These are different kinds of association that we have. This is the second type. The third type of relationship that we have in databases, we call it weak entity, and the fourth one is called strong entity. Now, a weak entity is something that cannot exist on its own. It's composed of, we have it here, it's a composition. We represent it in a filled diamond symbol, we call it composition. A strong entity, however, can exist on its own. We have an unfilled diamond symbol, which is used for the strong entity. In this case, we call it aggregation in the case of class diagram. So the four types of relationship, we have inheritance, association, composition, and aggregation. Okay, the other thing that we discuss is how we can extract or how we can derive the class diagram. If we have a use case diagram, can we do it? And we practice something from this diagram where you find what are the mistakes in this diagram itself. And then once we corrected this diagram, we went on and we extracted the class diagram, and the class diagram itself had some other issues as well. This is how we represent inheritance. So you have a super class and you have child classes here. All the methods and all the attributes here in this case are inherited, while this class has two other methods which are special to this class. Now, we noted that search databases or add data to database can be methods. So we corrected this diagram, if you remember, and then we moved on to the second way of how to extract classes, and that was from the text. So we were given a text and we identified or underlined the nouns from the text. Once we underlined, we applied some rules on it, which are these. if they are redundant, repetitive, vague, not clear, if it is an action verb or verb, which will be, in our case, it will be method, if they are outside the scope of the system, or if it is represent meta language, or if it is an attribute. This one is much trickier than others because to find out which one is an attribute and which one can be class. So once we apply the rules, we got these, and we had it here that these are not the classes that we can have, because somehow the parent class for the current and saving account was missing. Okay, a customer, and there is something called branch here. The parent class for the branch here was missing. The bank for here was account statement. Now this is where we said this is a noun, but it is actually an attribute. Statement can be attribute of any account. Now the last thing, which is a transfer, is a verb, if you see. So this is a method. It cannot be a noun. Sorry, it cannot be a class in this case. So let's discuss the sequence diagram. Now, sequence diagram has a basic structure. We have these as classes. We can either put here the classes, or we can put object then class as well. This is a lifeline. This is the time where the object is active, the class is active, and these are the messages. So the messages are in sequence, one after another. So this is the first message, then there is a return message, and so on and so forth. This is a destruction symbol where it indicates the end of that class activity. We had two types of sequence diagram. Generic means general, okay, which shows all the possible sequence of interaction, while instance shows sequence for only one scenario. So in this case, we have like a use case diagram. It is a visual paradigm example from taken from internet. So if you double click on this one, or right click and say okay, convert to activity or convert to sequence diagram. Now we are converting it to a sequence diagram. For each of these instances we can have a diagram. So we are talking about this one right now. What we did, we right click and then we started making the instance diagram. And we have this one as an actor, and these are the series of messages which are passed between the system and the actors. And this is at the end what happens. Now this is a generic sequence diagram which shows the activities or the sequence of all the activities of all the system, not just a single scenario but the whole system. This is for an application like bed.com or monstergulf.com, where someone want to hire someone, which is for employees and managers. Then at the end we talk about communication diagram. In communication diagram, we extracted or we compared it with the sequence diagram. So in this case we have a sequence diagram with 4 classes and there are messages passed between them. So we converted this one into a communication diagram. This one looks prettier because we put here the main class where all the other classes interact with. The thing here is we minimize the number of messages, plus the thing which is not very good in here is the sequence of activities. As we can see here, it is sequential, one after another. So for sequence of activities, what we do here, how we indicate it is by numbering them. So we have like 1, 2, 3 and 4. And this was the end of the chapter. Thank you very much.